Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Homemaker-in-Progress. I'm Elizabeth, and my goal with this channel is to simplify homemaking. There is this trendy homemaking stuff like you're baking bread, you're cleaning the house, you have this beautiful, luscious garden, and you have the balance between homemaking and cooking and taking care of the kids and dressing perfectly in these lovely dresses and all of that. And I think that there is some good in that. But I also think that it kind of creates some unrealistic expectations in our minds. To say that one homemaking style fits everyone is just not true. First off, would be how to keep your house clean without cleaning all the time. And I think that this is one that is a kind of a priority based question. So, do you want your house to be clean all the time? I would like to say probably most of us would think we want our house to be clean. But I think the reality is that in order for our house to stay perfectly clean all the time, we would have to be cleaning very often. So, how I do that is I'm doing the things that are most important to me, that are going to make like a big impact in my impression. So, that would be vacuuming. We have light colored floors so you can see the stuff on the floor and it gets dirty pretty quick. We have a young child and we also have a dog, and it gets dirty. That's reality. But I'm not going to vacuum every 2 hours. So vacuum once a day. And maybe there's this like, okay, if I wait until the end of the day, then it's mostly going to be done getting dirty so I can vacuum then. Maybe you're the opposite. And you're like, I want to start my day clean. So you're going to clean first thing in the morning. Whenever. To me, there's not necessarily a time that I'm vacuuming, but I'll just vacuum. And it might get dirty. And unless there's an emergency, I don't necessarily need to go back. Another one that I'm doing on the daily is the dishes. I am washing dishes or running the dishwasher every day. That's not really an option. And those are like the ones that I really want done. Cleaning off the kitchen stove, the countertop, that kind of thing. I want those things done. But I'm not going to spend all day cleaning those every single moment of the day. And that's my preference. So I don't focus on that. And then when it comes to cleaning schedules, daily, weekly, monthly. I think that's kind of a popular thing that you might see on social media is how often should you be cleaning something? And there probably is a scientific reason to be cleaning certain things for bacteria count and all of that. I personally think that we should just clean when it needs to be cleaned. And if you want it to stay clean, like always looking clean, clean it before starts to get dirty. So, for example, the bathroom starts to look bad after 2 weeks. Okay, clean it every week, and then it's a consistent thing and you're not noticing that like build up. Like deep cleaning, I'm not a deep cleaner, but I think some people they want to do that and that's totally fine. I think you just kind of have to find your fit. So for me, like I'll clean out the sink every once in a while, like scrub the shower, wash the toilet, like that kind of stuff. I would almost kind of consider deep cleaning, or like scrub the floors by my manually on my hands and knees. So things like that that are a little bit more thorough. I'm not doing that super regularly, and that's because it's not really a priority for me. Now, for some people, that might be a priority. And if you are the kind of person that is like, I have to do that, create a schedule for yourself and follow it. So, another thing would be like cleaning supplies and best natural cleaning supplies that you could use so that you can keep your house clean. I personally have found vinegar and water and baking soda, and I like to use lemon essential oil to be very effective. So, vinegar is like one of those things that I'll use for cleaning the windows. I dilute that with some water and some lemon essential oil, and I make sure that I wipe that dry. And it works great for a window cleaner, mirror cleaner, that kind of thing. Also, great for just like wiping down stuff. Another one would be baking soda, and baking soda is amazing, guys. So I was like, baking soda, but then I started using it. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. So you can make pastes and you can put that on clothing or on fabrics, and it will help whiten things or like take off stains. I have a stain, like a bench that gets stained really easily, and I put baking soda paste, so kind of a thick water and baking soda onto that. You kind of scrub it in a bit and then wash it, and it's just amazing. It comes out like it wasn't even there. Like it's so good. So, highly recommend that. Also, baking soda for taking out stains on like clothing. If you have oil stains, you can put some baking soda, put some parchment paper down, and iron that, and it will lift the stains. Like, guys, I have gotten rid of clothes for oil stains because I'm like, I can't get these out. And now I'm like, I wish that I wouldn't have done that. But anyway, You live and you learn, right? So that's one thing. Laundry is one of those things I used to do like every Saturday, and it was just like I'd wait until that day to do them. And then it just felt like if I had something going on that Saturday, my laundry was ruined basically because it would take me, like, I'd be up doing stuff, have to wait, got to get home, can't do this, can't do that. And honestly, it's like amazing. You don't have to just do laundry on Saturdays. Like, you can do it on a different day of the week. So that's what I have started to do is I've done laundry more than one time a week. So I think this depends on the size of your family. Some people would be like, you have to do it every day. I personally find that every day is too much. I think that if you're doing laundry every day with a small family, like, you may not even have really hardly enough for a load. So to me, that's too much. But some people might prefer that. And if you do, great. But that's not what I do. I will usually do laundry like 2 to 3 times a week. And it's kind of based on like how much is left of our clothes and how full our laundry basket is, basically. And I'm not particular. So I wash like everything together except for basically the towels, which even if it's like a small load, I'll add the towels to that. But generally speaking, I'm not really being particular about that. I'm just washing it all together. So you could do it differently, whereas instead of like doing all of the laundry together on one day, you could say that on a certain day, like when you've noticed that it's starting to build up, you're going to wash all your blouses or all your dresses or all the kids' clothing or your husband's clothing, whatever it might be. And that if that works for you, that's great. So if you are struggling to keep up with laundry, I would just recommend making the loads smaller basically and running a load a day, not necessarily every day, but running that load. And then it's just like one time in the washer, one time in the dryer, take it out, put it away. And it doesn't have to become so complicated. Another question is like how to declutter when you're overwhelmed. So I started decluttering years ago now, and I think that you should start with the things that are not sentimental, that you don't have attachments to, that are really easy to get rid of. So if you haven't watched my decluttering videos, I'd recommend that you go watch those for more in depth on the decluttering. But yeah, definitely start with an area that you're not attached to. And don't do it all at one time. Just break it apart. So break your house into pieces: kitchen, bathroom, bedrooms, living room, or even maybe into topics: kitchen gadgets, clothing, towels, bathroom accessories, shoes, board games, whatever it is that you have. And then you kind of build up momentum as you go. And it can become easier to get rid of the things that are like you're having a bit of a hard time with. So those are my big recommendations. And to like kind of tie it all together into biblical homemaking and the traditional homemaking and kind of what's trendy right now is homemaking for the sake of homemaking is not the point. And the point would be, why are we doing it? So we're doing it to serve God, we're doing it to serve our families. And I think in some ways we're even doing it for ourselves because we desire to have a clean home and we desire to keep up on things that we need to do. And I think as women, we can be kind of hard on ourselves too. There's pros and cons to that. That's really a topic for another video. But when it comes to what does the Bible say about homemaking, I believe that there's a few things to take away. One is to do it heartily, ask to the Lord, as it tells us in Colossians. And also, as it tells us in Proverbs 31, to look well to the ways of our household. So, probably one of the most, maybe not the most, but one of the women that's talked about in terms of like the perfect woman is the Proverbs 31 woman. And she's got a great repertoire, right? And sometimes I think we can feel like, how are we supposed to get it all done? I don't think the point is necessarily getting it all done. I think the point is to be industrious about what we do, to serve God in what we do, things like that. That it's more important that the reason for what you're doing is to serve God and to please Him than it is what you do. Another thing that I've been thinking about in relation to homemaking is Martha and Mary. And I've seen the reel where it's like, okay, when Mary me comes out and then finds this giant mess, and now the Martha comes out, and like it's funny, right? And I think we can relate. Martha was worried about things and wanted to get things done. Let's just focus on the reasoning and the purpose of it. So, clean the home, not just for the sake of having a clean home, but so that it's a safe and healthy place for your kids and your husband, and maybe if you have a pet, for them as well and for you. Make it an enjoyable place. Make sure there's love and joy. And those are more important than the perfect meal and the perfect clean house. So, thank you so much for watching Homemaker in Progress today. I hope you enjoyed it.